Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandre Arati Koshoba Shiva Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Koshoba Janavi Tatavane Jagamana Loba Janavi Tatavane Jagamana Loba Arotik Shobha Jaganamana Loba Jaganamana Loba Ratika Shobha Jaganamana Loba Jaganamana Loba Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Bhakti Nitai Chant Bhame Garadara Bhakti Nitai Chant Bhame Garadara Nikate Anvita Shrini Chadradara Nikate Advaita Shrini Vasa Chadradara Vase Ache Gaura Chant Radna Simhasane Vase Ache Gaura Chant Radna Simhasane Arati Kaurena Brahma Hari Deva Gane Arati Kaurena Brahma Hari Deva Gane Nara Hari Hari Kori Dulaya
Ivanara Adi Kori Chamara Dulaya
Nara Adi Kori Chamara Dulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosharigaya
Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosharigaya
Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosharigaya
Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Gosharigaya
Janta Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala
Sasanga Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala
Janta Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala
Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala
Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala
Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala
Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala
Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala
Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhu 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 Baje
Shanga Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje
Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhu 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 Baje
Shanga Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje
Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhu 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 Baje
Shanga Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje
Madhu 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 Baje
Madhur 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 Baje
Madhu 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 Baje
Madhur 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 Baje
Haribo Haribo Gora Haribo
Nitai Gora Haribol 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 Nitai Gora Haribol Nitai Gora Haribol 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 Nitai Gora Haribol
Bahu Koti Chandrajini Bhadana Ujwala
Bahu Koti Chandrajini गगन उजाला
Gala deshe banamala Kore jalamala
Gala deshe banamala Kore jalamala
Shiva Shukla Navida Preme Gada Gada
Shiva Sukhana Radha Preme Gada Gada
Shiva Shukla Navida Preme Gada Gada
Shiva Shiva Sukhana Radha Preme Gada Gada
Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gora Sampada
Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada
Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gora Sampada
Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Harati Koshoba
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Goshoba
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Harati Koshoba
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Goshoba
Jana Vidata Vane Jagamana Loba
Jana Vedata Bane Jagamana Loba
Gaurande Avoti Shobha Jagajanamana Loba
Gaurangera Rati Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba
Gaurande Avoti Shobha Jagajanamana Loba
Gaurangera Rati Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba
Gaurande Avoti Shobha Jagajanamana Loba
Gaurangera Rati Shobha Jaga Janamana Loba
Jagajanamana Loba
Loba
Jagajanamana Loba
Jaga Janamana Loba
Haribo 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 Gora Haribo
Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo
Jai Gora Haribo 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 Gora Haribo
Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Vishnu Padaya
Jai Prabhupada.
Krishna Pesaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhaktachari Satarine
Namaste Saraswati Devi
Jai Prabhupada. Jai Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Jai Shri Gaur Kishore Das Jai Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jagannath Das Sat Goswami Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvrajikacharya Stotra Satis Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. SCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. BBT Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Brahm Sigaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Govinda Shamakund Radhakund Agiri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glory is to the assembled devotees. All glory is to the assembled devotees. All glory is to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadadadayine. Praladadadadayine. Hiranyakashipu Vaksha. Lita नरसिम्हा भगवान की, प्रहलाद महाराज की, नित्य गोपानंद।
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to Shri Radha Madhav Hari Dham. On behalf of our presiding deity, Shri Radha Madhav Hari, we are happy that you are here for our Sunday Feast program and Sunday Feast class. Before I start, there's a lot of space in the front, and many people will keep coming. So move as far forward as you can, so that the latecomers will not disturb you. So very happy to have, pleased to have Jai Nitai Prabhu and Bhava Bhakti Devi Dasi here today. They've been here since Wednesday, and we've had devotee care seminar Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it was really very informative and extremely useful, so that our yatra can get to the next level. And we hope that we'll have more of these sessions. They're really nice interactive sessions, and really something practical that can help all of us, because devotee care just does not mean, as I've mentioned before, for sick people or people who are going to, leave their bodies and such. Devotee care means a lot of other things. You can take care of anybody just walking through the door, just in your day-to-day lives. We always want to take care of each other, family, friends, and so forth. There's a lot of aspects of devotee care, and also things what not to do, when you're caring for somebody. So hopefully you all will have an opportunity in the future to join a course like this. So I'm just going to read the bios, because we did not introduce Prabhu and Mataji very nicely before we started the course. But Jai Nitai Prabhu and Bhava Bhakti Devi Dasi are disciples of His Holiness Radhanath Swami, and they have served in London for many years. Prabhu has served in different capacities there, and he was also a temple president for 14 years. And they both have professional backgrounds, and Mataji was also working and also doing deity service and other community services at the Soho Temple in London. And over the last 2 years, they've moved to New York at the Bhakti Center upon the request of their Guru Maharaj. And they're setting up a devotee care office in New York. And they also have been doing seminars around the country, and they've also been preaching and going to different places, not only devotee care, but other bhakti-related subjects. And also they were, you were in Mayapur as well, right? Yes, they were in Mayapur as well for the ISKCON Leadership Sangha, and they also did some presentations there also. So we are very happy that we are getting 2 for 1 today. And we're going to go ahead without taking much of their time. I'm going to pass the mic over to them. And I would like to thank them both for coming and giving us the devotee care presentation. And I pray that they'll come again soon also. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gope Janavallabha Girivardhari Gope Janavallabha Girivardhari Jashoda Nandana Braj Janaranjana Jashoda Nandana Braj Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Manachari Jamuna Tira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Gopi Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Jashoda Nandana Braj Janaranjana Jashoda Nandana Braj Janaranjana Jashoda Nandana Braj Janaranjana Jashoda Nandana Braj Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parvarajikacharya Stotra Satyas Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Jai Nitai Gauda Premanandi All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Buddha. Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadi Shatarine. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. So it is our great honor and privilege to be here with all of you, and I would like to begin by expressing deep gratitude to the wonderful devotees who are leading the yatra here. Premadhatri Devi, I'm not sure where she disappeared to. Where is she? Oh, at the back next to the Garuda Stamba. Perfect positioning as Lord Chaitanya. So I would like to thank her very much for so kindly facilitating us and encouraging all the devotees here, leading the charge for so many years and taking so much responsibility. I know, as she mentioned, serving in the capacity as temple president, it is not an easy service. You try to please everyone and you wind up pleasing almost nobody. And in the meantime, everyone just gives you a hard time. So, which is why I only lasted 14 years. Afterwards, my Guru Maharaj said, it's like being in, like Lord Ram was exiled to the forest for 14 years. So it's time to come out of the forest. So we came out. Maybe better, maybe worse, I don't know, but we made it out. So anyway, I would like to thank you very much, Mother, for all your wonderful service and for your kindness. Every time we've been here, you've always shown us your beautiful smile and your wonderful heart and really welcomed us with such graciousness. So thank you so much. Mother Premadhatri Devi Ki Jai. Hare. Yes. This is care. We'd also like to thank our wonderful host, Shama Mohini Devi, and her wonderful husband, for both of them opening up their home to us and allowing us to stay with them and infiltrate their personal space and just being a complete annoyance to them at every single moment. Meanwhile, looking after us so nicely. So we'd like to thank both of them also very much for their kindness. And to all of you who could be doing so many different things on a sweltering hot Sunday in Phoenix, yes? Anything else you could be doing, but you decided to come here and be in the temple sitting before Shri Shri Radha Madhava Hari, Gaur Nitai, Srinachi, and the Association of Devotees. So we'd like to thank and congratulate all of you. Hare Krishna. Okay, so today we are going to talk a little bit about building a community of care. I think already there's a wonderful community of care here. And we've definitely felt it over the last few days and inspired to come back again if Krishna allows and permits, so that would be very wonderful. So community care emphasizes a shift from solely being reliant on the institution and beginning to set and provide care within the context of each and everyone's homes and individual communities. So a lot of times within our movement, there's been a lot of emphasis on the institution providing for us, which puts a lot of strain on the leadership and on the institution. Meanwhile, over the years since Srila Prabhupada founded ISKCON, our communities have grown into what Srila Prabhupada originally visioned, which is a society. And in a society, the society eventually comes to a point where it begins to look after each other, look after itself, and at the same time support and encourage that place which is the place of worship, which is the temple, where everyone comes together before the deities and chants and dances with their arms raised, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the essence of the community of care.
So here,
Can you turn up that light? This one?
Hare Krishna. So here we see here in this picture, we see the ultimate community and ultimate care, as it were. In the spiritual world, if we read, say, Krishna book or any pastime, there's always a loving community atmosphere between the gopis, the gopas, even between the animals, the humans or animals amongst themselves. And this is actually what we aspire for when we come to the temple. Do we not think that, wouldn't this be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we had this type of sweet, loving exchanges? So this is actually the ultimate depiction, as it were, of community.
And we know 500 plus 531, 532 years ago, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself personally came. The Supreme Lord came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he started this Sankirtan movement, the Yuga Dharma for this age, the Harinam Sankirtan. And the key word in Sankirtan is what? What do you think is the key word? Sun, exactly. It means we have to do it together. And that's not easy. Anyone finds being together with other people sometimes a little challenging? Yeah? If you don't raise your hand, I know that's because you're afraid of the other people around you, and you find it difficult in groups. So yeah, actually personal relationships are one of the biggest challenges in the material world, actually. If we're really honest, managing things is easy. Fixing things is simple, yes? But dealing with other people can be so challenging. And that is how we know that the highest thing in the spiritual world is personal relationships. Because we got to get it right here in order to go back to the spiritual world and be with Krishna. So here is just a testing ground. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and if you look into the Chaitanya Charitamrita, into Chaitanya Bhagavan, into the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you'll see that he attracted a very, very diverse community of people. Some people who shouldn't even be together with other people. And people who were older, people who were younger, people who were rich, people who were completely poverty-stricken. And they all had one thing in common. And what was that one thing that they had in common? Harinam, the holy name, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here created and generated the spiritual world. And all the devotees were always in ecstasy. They would walk thousands of miles from Navadvip all the way to Jagannath Puri. 300, 400, 500 devotees or more would walk all this distance just to be with Lord Chaitanya, just to dance and chant in the Rath Yatra. All of this is community, and it was a community of care. Shivananda Sain, where is Shivananda Sain? Here he is. Shivananda Sain paid for everyone, and he said he's going to do that also from now on, right, Shivananda Sain? He's got it. He's got a big checkbook. He's going to cover all the costs, all the tolls, all the hotels, all the prasada, wherever you want to go for holiday, for vacation. Shivananda Sain's your man, right? And what did Shivananda Sain get? He got kicked by Lord Nityananda. Haribo! So, this is a community of care where the devotees, according to their capacity and their means, they give love to one another. They support and encourage each other like that.
And we can also see in the life an example of Srila Prabhupada, who also came to create community. We may see his legacy, maybe over 108 temples and community groups, but actually he always said that was secondary, that was needed to attract the people, to attract the devotees. And there was one letter that he wrote in March 16, 1969, so very early on, and he said, "So in this age, it is more important to create devotees than to construct temples. Because without the devotees, what do you need the temple for? What would be the use of the temple?" So in that sense, okay, we may say, let's attract devotees, okay, but it's not just about bringing them in and I've got the numbers of people here, but we have to create that caring community. Then when we actually start to create caring interactions and community, then the purpose of the temple is fulfilled around that community.
Yeah, just so you know, we're not trying to discourage building of temples, especially because you're trying to build a big temple here.
Yeah.
Just that the ultimate purpose of a temple is to house all the devotees in the Lord and to bring everyone together like that.
Yes, so please do sponsor one of those square footage over there on that table. $251.
So this is a quote from the Padma Purana. Naham vasami vaikunte na yogi hridaye ravau. Madbhakta yatra gayanti tatra tishtami narada. I do not live in Vaikuntha, in the hearts of the yogis, or inside the sun. Rather, my dear Narada, I am present wherever my devotees sing about me. So wherever the devotees come together and hear and chant Machchita Magata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayanta Shimam Nicham Tushanti Cha Ramanti Cha. Wherever the devotees are Tushanti Cha Ramanti Cha, wherever they are relishing the nectar of the pastimes of the Lord is there, personally present. Here, of course, we see that the Lord is personally present. Of course, that also depends on our level of faith, our consciousness, our willingness to accept that actually the Supreme Lord is personally present here. At the moment, we're also reading how the Lord has manifested. We're reading actually in the 3rd chapter of the 10th canto in the morning, in the Bhagavatam, that actually Srila Prabhupada says that the Lord has incarnated as this movement, as ISKCON, and through the movement of ISKCON, the holy name has manifested, so like that. So we see that wherever the devotees come together, this is where Krishna is personally present. This is the unifying factor for all of us as devotees. And we have to be very careful that we don't try to break this Vaikuntha atmosphere. In one place, Srila Prabhupada explained that this is Vaikuntha. This is Vaikuntha. So we have to be careful that in our community we don't create Kunta, right? Which is a place of distress and difficulty and challenge and test and upset. Instead, we want a place where we experience Vaikuntha, that place where the Lord is personally present.
So creating a caring community means that we want to be around the community. That helps. So when we look around the room, we should feel, these are my people. These are my friends. This is my Sangha. And it means that even when I'm outside of these 4 walls, I'd still like to see them. If you see, I don't know if many people, actually no one really walks here, do they? I was noticing that. I was talking to Rajalila, and I was saying, it's really quiet here. She goes, Mataji, it's so hot here. Who's going to go for a walk? Oh, yeah, that's true. But we should feel that. I'd like to see that person, to read, to hear, to chant, but even outside of those activities, to be a friend. And that's the test of actually creating a community, that I'd like to be in your association. So Prabhupada said that our temples are embassies of the spiritual world.
We've got musical background for that one.
So just as if we go to any Indian embassy, the American embassy, your rights are retained, and whatever you have experiencing in that country's culture will be in that embassy. It's like a fragment of that country in another country. So the temples represent the spiritual world, which means that when we set foot in the temple, don't we feel that instant relief? Don't we feel like there's a calmness, there's a peacefulness? Or at least we should feel like that. So you may be thinking, okay, but I don't always feel like that. Sometimes I don't always connect like that. So then what are some of the impediments towards that impinge upon us creating a caring community?
So in the 10th canto of the Krishna book, and in the Krishna, or 10th canto of the Bhagavatam and the Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada describes that wonderful community of Vrindavan Dham or Gokul, and even there in Boma Vrindavan, there are impediments. The devotees are often being tested. Anyone here has ever experienced some tests in their spiritual life? There was a beautiful book by Purnachandra Maharaj called Obstacles on the Path of Devotion. Anyone read that by any chance? Okay. Obstacles on the Path of Devotion. So there are bound to be some obstacles. Often we recognize the obstacles as being external. Yes? So like when we read Krishna book, there are all these different demons. The demons, they come and try to kill Krishna. They try to kill the residents of Vrindavan. So like this demon, Shakatashura, he is, anyone knows which demon he is? Cart demon means that he walks around with a cart selling poisonous apples or something, isn't that? No, that's a different fairy tale. What is that? So what happened with Shakatashura? Yes, he came out of the cart after Krishna, right? Krishna kicked the cart and Shakatashura came out of the cart. It was at a time when Krishna he first rolled over, which is a special time in a child's life when they first learn to roll over. They take their first steps, things like that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he describes each of these demons have a specific or represent a specific, not only are they external, but they're also internal representations of anarthas, of unwanted things in our own heart. Which means that sometimes the external impediments are not only external. They're simply representations of something that is going on in our own heart. Now we should think that Krishna had anarthas, that's why all these demons kept coming to him. Krishna was fighting these demons because Krishna within our heart also is helping us to fight against those demons within. Anyone here ever experienced that kind of inside? You know, Arjuna asked Krishna, what is it that makes a man act against his will even though he knows better? Right? Anyone's had that experience where you do something? Anyone here has ever said, I'm never going to do that again? Anyone ever said that? Nobody raised their hand. This must be the purest place. Must be all that sun baking the impurities out of it. So no one here has ever said, I'm never going to do that again? Raise your hand. Be honest. Okay. Yeah. And now raise your hand and be honest. Did you do it again? Thank you. Okay. That confirms it. Anywhere I go, I ask that question, and everybody raises their hand both times. You know. Then the third question is, are you still doing it now? And everyone becomes very quiet. So like this, these anarthas, these unwanted things within the heart, they're challenged, they're demons that somehow need to be removed. And Krishna is here to try and help us, and specifically in Kali Yuga, Krishna is helping us through the Cheto Darpana Marjanam process, the internal cleansing process, which is this Harinam Sankirtanam. Sorry, I didn't say what the demon is. So the demon represents the tendency to carry the cartload of bad habits. The tendency to carry a cartload of bad habits. Something I have, mine's not just a cart. It's like one of those big Mack trucks, you know, like 18-wheeler. Also represents lethargy and dullness. Anyone here has ever been lethargic? Anyone here knows anyone who's a little dull? I'm sure you're not dull, but you know people who are dull, right?
So, extinguishing the forest fire. Does anyone remember this pastime when Krishna was swallowing up the forest fire? Any guesses on what anartha that would represent?
What was it? Anger? Kind of, yeah. Lust, greed, envy. Envy, okay. Yeah, they're all there, but not right on the head and the nail. Passion? Yeah, because fire is like passion. Nice guess.
It's actually communal discord amongst Vaishnavas. In other words, it's that which can destroy the community. So in terms of, say, anger or greed or envy, but those types of discords that actually tear apart communities. Because it actually, when there is some discord amongst communities, it spreads like wildfire. People take sides, people start to doubt, you can lose your faith, and it's very quick like that to actually ruin or soil, as it were, a whole community. So it actually represents disharmony, as it were, amongst communities.
We were thinking to try to get different devotees while we were doing this to act out these pastimes, but then we thought it might be a little too ambitious for a Sunday program. Trinavarta, wow, what a demon. He was always, this picture was always one of my favorites. And when I would look at it, it'd be like, it kind of takes Wizard of Oz to the next level, you know. It's like, going over the rainbow is nothing with Trinavarta. So what do you think Trinavarta represents? Did someone say something, or is that? Okay. Oh, class. Okay, I thought you said lust, but yeah, class. Jealousy. Interesting. Why would you say jealousy? Okay, so he said that maybe Trinavarta was like jealous of the amount of affection that Krishna got from his mother. That's really interesting. I like that. Thank you for sharing. What is your name? Bart. Thank you, Bart. But that's not it. Actually, Trinavarta represents false pride. False pride, yes. Srila Prabhupada explains that we do have pride. There should be pride. Anyone remembers what Srila Prabhupada said about pride? He said we should be proud of one thing. Yes, well, he said the servant of our spiritual master, but yes, same thing in one sense. He said we can be proud to be the servant of our spiritual master. And sometimes if you see pictures of Prabhupada walking, he walked very regally, like this, with his chest out and his head up. And when he would put his chadar around, he would fling it like that. And he was like very regal. And you could just see that Prabhupada was he was proud to be the servant. Prabhupada said actually that these Tulsi beads, this Kanti Mala, what does it represent? He said it's the dog collar. He said actually we are the dog of the spiritual master, and this is our dog collar, so like that. So false pride is something that we have to be very, very careful of. False pride means that I'm proud thinking that I am something that I am not. It's false ego. It's a false understanding of who I am. These things are all there in all communities and all of us and all of our hearts. And we have to be very careful of these things because they can drive a wedge between us and other devotees. Yes? Anyone has seen someone else's false pride? Certainly not my own false pride, but definitely somebody else's false pride is giving me a hard time. Anyone see that? Yeah. We don't want to point fingers, but of course, the fingers are always pointing that way, unless you remember that there are three always pointing back at you at the same time. Yes, false pride.
So the next one, Nala Kuvera and Mani Griva. Any ideas what that could represent?
If you remember the pastime, this one really...
Lust? No.
Well, there was lust there, yeah. Illusion? No? Pride, yes, also pride.
So it's actually arrogant pride from aristocracy, feeling proud of where we're coming from, and the madness for wealth. So that desire to have money, or to have money as it were, and a certain position, actually creates a serious arrogance in us, a pride that's very arrogant. So therefore Krishna pulled that out, literally, put it out of them.
Next one is Bakasura. Bakasura. And what do you think is the anartha from Bakasura? No one. Empathy. Enmity. Yes, actually. He was duplicitous. He was duplicitous. Cunning duplicitousness. Which means, everyone knows what duplicitous means? What does duplicitous mean? Two-faced, thank you. That's a very nice way to sutrize it, yes. It means two-faced. I show you one face, yes, Mataji. Then behind you, yeah, right? It's like that, duplicitousness. And once again, I'm sure none of you are duplicitous here, ever been duplicitous, didn't even think about it, didn't even know the meaning of the word until I said it. But I bet you know some people who are like that, right? So, yeah, deceptiveness. Sometimes we're deceitful and we present false types of behavior. We say something on one side and then we do something else on another side. So this duplicitousness is there. Stepped in, sorry. So, all of these different personalities in the Bhagavatam that Krishna is doing battle with, they all represent knots in the hearts. Anartha, right? Anartha. Artha means wealth or something that is wanted, something of value. Artha. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Artha means something of value, something that is wanted. Anartha, because whenever you put an A in front of a word in Sanskrit, it negates it. So it becomes something that is unwanted. And unfortunately, the heart is filled with these unwanted things. And Srila Prabhupada describes them as knots. Knots within the heart. And he explains that this, like triguna, right, the gunas, is like a rope that binds us. So these things tie us, and ultimately, in any situation, there's often, we see that Kali Yuga is the age of quarrel, hypocrisy, and confusion. Yes? Those are the three symptoms of Kali Yuga: quarrel, hypocrisy, and confusion. Do we see quarrel in the world? Lots of it right now, definitely. Loads of quarrel. Hypocrisy, this is duplicitousness, right? Hypocrisy, do we see hypocrisy in the world? And confusion. Do we see confusion in the world? Anyone here is confused? You might be confused. Why are these people talking about this? What time is prasadam and when will they be quiet? So yes, quarrel, hypocrisy, confusion. But that's external. If we look inside ourselves, if we reflect honestly, do we find quarrel within? Yes. Yes. Sometimes you get caught out, right? People catch you, you're like, and people are like, what is going on? Yeah, internal quarrel, hypocrisy. Anyone here has ever done something hypocritical? Said one thing and did something else? And confusion. We already admitted we're often confused about things. We don't really know what is the right thing to do sometimes. So like that. So it seems like a desperate situation.
So the question could be, what hope do we have? If we're living in the world that is like this, and also is within our world, what exactly can we do to help ourselves? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the devotee who worships the holy name should first petition the Lord for the strength to cast out all these unfavorable tendencies, and should pray thus before Lord Hare on a daily basis. By doing this regularly, the devotee's heart will eventually become purified. Sri Krishna has killed a number of demons which may arise in the kingdom of the heart. So in order to destroy these problems, a devotee must cry very humbly before the Lord and admit defeat. Then the Lord will nullify all contaminations. So it actually requires serious, sincere humility before the Lord in quite an easy way, which is to chant His holy names. And maybe sometimes it can be seen as too easy, because it's just repeating the words, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Oh, I don't need to pay attention, but we do. And to the degree that if someone's calling you, and we don't really half-heartedly listen, or we maybe walk away or turn away, it doesn't really feel so nice for the other person. Same way, if we're calling Krishna, it's like, okay, keep calling him, okay, but we're like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. What's he going to do? He's going to give you half-hearted reciprocation back. But Srila Thakur's saying that we really have to pray to Krishna to have the strength, which only he has, to actually pull out these anatas.
Srila Prabhupada's last visit to London, 1977, he was on his way here to Gita Nagari, and he stopped in London, and he was very sick, and the devotees took him to Seven-Bari Place before Shri Shri Radha Landaneshwar. And Srila Prabhupada offered obeisances, and when he got up, he was offering intense prayers to the deities, and tears were pouring out of his eyes. And in the car journey back to the manor, Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, Srila Prabhupada, what were you praying? What affected you so much? And Srila Prabhupada said, I was praying to Shri Shri Radha Landaneshwar to please not let me fall into Maya. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, but Prabhupada, you're a pure devotee sent by Krishna here. How can you fall into Maya? He said, you can't fall into Maya. And Prabhupada said, I can't fall into Maya if I keep praying like this. So the point being that our heart has to become soft. We have to become humble. And we have to approach the Lord with this mood of sincerity, with tears in our eyes, and beg. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur says here, that we have to, what does he say? Admit defeat. I can't do this on my own, Lord. I can only do it with your help. Only you can help me. And we pray to the Lord in this sincere way. So, this is the mood of building a community of care that we understand that in order to get back to this space, to create this atmosphere, that there are going to be tests and challenges. And we're going to have to face those tests and challenges. And more importantly is that we start to remember and realize and understand that every single person around us is also facing those challenges. And instead of jumping to conclusions, which we do sometimes, or we snap to judgments about someone, but very rarely do we take the time to understand where they're at. What's actually going on in their world. There's a saying that you can have a smiling face and a crying heart. You know, the famous people in the magazines, they always look so beautiful and so glamorous. But when you look behind and you see what's happening in their worlds, usually it's just diabolical, horrible stuff. So sometimes we may look okay, but actually inside. So it's really important to, in the process of trying to develop and create a community of care, the care starts with just a simple inquiry from another person. As we mentioned on the course, when Gopakumar first went back to this, when he made it back to the spiritual world and he saw Krishna, they ran towards each other and they embraced. Krishna embraced Gopakumar, and the first thing that Krishna said to his devotee who had returned from the material world back to the spiritual world, the first thing that he said to him was, "How are you?" How are you? And Krishna didn't say, "How are you?" and then walk away. Which is what we often do. Hare, Prabhu, how's it going? Yeah. But he listened. And then he said, "Every day I walk by this path and I look down and I pray that you come back to me. And today you've returned." So this is the mood of the spiritual world. So like that. Okay, we just finished there. So does anyone have any? We finish at 6:30 or do we have until 7? Okay. Because we have the same number of slides again for a whole second part. But like that. Anyone has any comments, questions, reflections, corrections, chastisements? Okay, we have ladies first. Hare Krishna. What is your name? Rajna.
So I was wondering, the verse in Nectar of Instruction which talks about revealing a mind in confidence. So how do you choose who you want to reveal your mind to? Do we reveal our mind to everyone in the congregation and become vulnerable, and or how do you make that choice?
No, don't reveal your mind to everyone.
Danger.
Yeah. Let me just... Well, it would be someone you trust, first of all. I guess it would also mean someone who, depending on the nature of what you're revealing, and also it would be, like, sometimes we tend to reveal our minds or share. We can sometimes be in the mood of, are you going to reciprocate what I'm revealing? Depending on what we want to say. Are you going to... We don't maybe always want to reveal something if someone's going to be a real good friend and say, did you do that? Why would you do that? Is this what's going on? But sometimes also we may need... So just to say we should discriminate, but sometimes we may need to reveal ourselves to someone where it's very, intense and very personal, and in that sense we should at least have the discretion to know, is this person trustworthy and mature and in a position that I feel I can take some guidance or shelter from. But it shouldn't be, even, I guess the point I'm making is, even if someone may be labelled as, that's the person you go to, but if you don't feel comfortable going to that person, then you shouldn't put yourself in the position of doing that as well, because that's really important.
I don't know if any of you are familiar with a devotee named Bhava Prabhu. Some of you know Bhava Prabhu. So he's a very good friend of ours from London. So in the early days, he was sharing that he was, whenever he would get the opportunity to be with a senior devotee, Prabhupada disciple, sannyasi, guru, he would ask them, how have you managed to stay so long? And he shared with me that independently, each and every one of them gave the same answer without knowing. At least they gave some different things, but they all gave one connecting theme. It was the same answer. And he said, each and every one of them said, you have to have at least one good friend whom you can tell anything and everything to. At least you have to have one good friend that you can completely reveal your heart to. So how to find that person isn't like I can just put a slide up and say, this is the one. It's something that only you will know. And that has to be based on trust. As Prabhupada said, our movement is based on love and trust. And trust is something that's only developed over time and with tests. And we discussed also on the devotee care course how important it is to keep confidentiality and to not, if someone does reveal their mind and heart to you, then it's not something that's meant for everybody else. It's just meant for you alone. And that creates trust. But we should be creating a community where devotees feel like they have such loving relationships that they can reveal their minds, they can open their hearts. And dadati pratigrunati gudyam akyati prichiti. That is 2 of the 6 loving exchanges. To reveal the heart and to hear confidentially, like that. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
What is your name?
Sadananda Ramachandra Dasa.
Say that again.
Sadananda Ramachandra Dasa.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for the very sweet and important discussion. So many wonderful takeaways for anyone in any community. The one thing I did want to touch upon was the slide you shared about where Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about crying to the deity. I think it's a beautiful prayer, and I think it's something all of us should try to do. But the other aspect I wanted to touch upon and ask you about was, is this alone sufficient, or as devotees do we also have to put in conscious effort to get rid of some of these anarthas? Because I have heard both, where sometimes the Lord, just by praying to the Lord, He is merciful and then the anarthas are taken away. But there are other places where you also have to put in the effort, because sometimes that can also be mistaken as, you just pray to Krishna and then things just go away. But I think obviously the sincerity also matters. So yeah, that's just.
Tesham sarata yuktanam bhajatam paripurvikam dadami buddhi yogam tam. Yes, so Krishna, He gives us intelligence. He gives us intelligence by which to act. So the key to being able to receive that intelligence is humility. We have to open ourselves up, because if we are proud, and so proud that we think, here's the thing about pride. When you're proud, you think you know it all. Right? Anyone has that experience? Not with yourselves, I'm sure, but with other people. So, people who just seem to be know-it-alls. They know everything about everything. And what is the thing about a know-it-all? They can't hear anything, because they already know it. So there's no need. So even if you're trying to tell a know-it-all something, they're just busy thinking about what they're going to tell you. So it's the same with us. If we're not humble, then there's that pride, and that pride separates us from Krishna, because actually Krishna is knocking all the time, right? The 2 birds in the tree, Mundaka Upanishad. Krishna is always saying, hey, why are you doing this? And you're like, shh, I'm busy. Shh, don't bother me right now. I already know that, I know you said it so many times, but anyway, I'm still going to do it. So Krishna is there. But when we open our hearts, usually either we generate humility, or Krishna arranges for us to be humbled. Right? So when Krishna arranges like a good, then we're like, oh, Krishna, please help me. Oh, right? But the other times we're like, anyway, yes, you know? So actually we come before the deities, we come before the Lord, and we pray like anything that I'm defeated. Dear Lord, I think I know so much, but I know nothing. I need your help. Please help me to overcome these anarthas within my heart. And then in that space, the Lord will make arrangements. He will show us, do you see this? This is when you act like an imbecile. This is when you act full of pride. This is when you act like in so many different ways. Do you understand? So he makes the arrangement. He gives us, just as he gave Arjuna, divine vision to see. But then it's up to us to act on it. It's not that Krishna, even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was helping Arjuna, but it's not that he fought the battle. He left the job to Arjuna. At the end, he says, Arjuna, I've given you so many instructions, but it's up to you. You have to decide. So he gives knowledge, but we have to act on that knowledge. Our access to that knowledge comes through humility. Does that make a little bit of sense? Okay. I don't know if we have time. We have one more minute if someone else.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for excellent class and Mataji. My question is, in the wake of recent terrorist attacks in Kashmir, it makes you sad and angry and fills you with disgust. So what is the right perspective to deal with these emotions in a Vaishnava way?
So your question is that with things that go on in the world that are despicable and clearly and apparently demoniac in some way, how are we meant to deal with them? Yeah, it's not an easy answer to a difficult question. In one sense, time and time again we see atrocities in the world. Sometimes around us, day in and day out, different things are going on. Maybe not as severe as that, but in other parts of the world, a lot of times we don't even see what's going on that's so atrocious. This material world that we live in, it is not a nice place. Srila Prabhupada said we're trying to make the best of a bad bargain here. But if we're living here and we're thinking that it's going to be a bed of roses, then we're just increasing the illusion. There are going to be perpetual things that cause us to be disgusted with this material world. We see it time and time again. And those things actually, as horrendous as they are, they should become an impetus for us to recognize that this is not the place that we really belong. We don't belong in this material world where people don't know how to act with one another, where people don't know how to appreciate each other, where people aren't willing to find commonality and create community despite differences of religion, of race, of gender, of age, of whatever it is. Instead, we fight over the differences. Srila Prabhupada spoke time and time again about creating unity and diversity. So, but not everyone is in that space. So when we see these things, if it is in our power or in our call to responsibility to do something, then we have to make a decision to act. But if it is not, then we should be very careful and cautious not to get caught up in a political thing that actually only exacerbates the problem. And especially sometimes we're so far away from the actual thing that happens that we can't be 100% sure we're getting all the exact correct information. We may be, but we may not be. So, as devotees, we can offer deep prayers for the people who have lost their lives, for the people who have been injured, for the people who have suffered in these situations. And we can also offer deep prayers for the people who have perpetuated these situations, praying to the Lord to help them to see sense and not do these things again. But we should be very careful to allow hatred to arise in our hearts, so much so especially that we then start to lash out or act out against people, maybe locally, who had nothing to do with that at all. Because all we are doing then is perpetuating the exact same thing from the other side. Does that make sense? Hare Krishna. I'm okay to sit here until midnight, but there is a leader and we are under her. Can we do one more question, Mother? I'll let my wife answer because she is like, She is like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. She speaks truth concisely.
Thank you for that. I just want to ask you about the demons that are killed in Vrindavan. Do they achieve the spiritual world, or I mean, what happens to the demons that are killed in Vrindavan?
The demons in Vrindavan, do they go back?
Yeah, do they go back home, back to Godhead?
Yes.
They all go back home.
Yes. If you read in Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam, some of them go back to their original position because they were playing a role in the Leela.
Okay.
And some of them actually become absorbed into Krishna's body, or they merge into the Brahma Jyoti.
Okay.
To be killed directly by Krishna may not feel like it, but it's a win-win. In one sense, it may not seem it, and especially the way he does it. He pulls you apart and rips your head off and all that. But anyway, it works out in the end.
Okay.
It works.
Thank you.
It may feel like that to us sometimes. Krishna is bifurcating us or tearing us apart. But he's not doing that to us, he's doing that to the anartas. And it can feel like we are the anartas sometimes, but that's the thing, we're not. They're not us. Our bad habits, our bad traits, they're not us. That's just some false identification that we have. So it's like when that weed is being pulled out of the heart, it's like, and we think it's something hurting us. Like if you're getting a tooth pulled, it feels like that. And then sometimes it comes out and you just feel a gap in yourself. You can also feel like, oh, well, who am I now if I don't have that? If I don't have that anarta, who am I? But who we are is Jivara Swaropoi Krishnara Nichadas. We're eternal servants of Krishna. That is our true identity. We were never these things anyhow. So the demons, yeah, they get, and like you said, they get liberation. She already said it, and I just have to say something. So I'll stop now. Hare Krishna. One more quick thing that I noticed on the door here, there was a sign talking about the Sadachar, I think, the classes or something. And I just wanted to say that's very inspirational, and I can only encourage this enough that as a community we also, we come together and we learn how we're meant to act together in a community. Because we all have different habits and different things, but actually our previous acharyas, they've given guidelines on what is the successful way to interact and live together in a community of care. So I can only encourage that this activity or these courses, that you please attend those as much as possible.
Certificates.
Thank you. She's going to do it. I've got them, yeah.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for a wonderful class. Very inspiring. Can we please give round of applause?
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai. So, as Mother Pramatri says, it's been wonderful 3 days, actually 4 days of inspiration, and our hearts goes to all of you who were able to attend the 3-day seminar. I know it was intense, and many of us have to rearrange the whole things in order to be here. But it was totally worth it, and we're looking forward to part 2. So I know a few people were not here because they had to do some personal work, but we're going to be presenting the certificate of completion, certifying the participants attending the ISKCON Phoenix Devotee Care course, April 2025, part 1, who is now well equipped with the principles and practices of strategically planning, delivering, and building systems of Vaishnava Seva to embed the culture of care into communities. And certificates are signed by His Grace J. Nitai Das and His Grace Gauranga Das, is an international devotee care chair and Nitai Prabhu is the devotee care chair for North America. Ananda Lila Devi Dasi. So you give it to them and the Prabhu to them. Ananta Chaitanya Das. Odaria Gaurangi Devidasi. Mamta Puncha. Mathura Balava Govinda Das. I saw him here. Where is he? I know, is he not here? Okay, he's on the way. Okay, we'll put it aside. Melissa Christensen.
Haribol.
Pramadatri Devidasi.
It's always the hardest to get the temple president at the course, and she was there every day, but including setting up everything every day and always thinking how to make it better. So thank you so much, Premadachi Devi.
Sadalakshmi Dasi. Shobhamayi Devidasi.
Is she here?
Sita Kumari Devidasi. Shivananda Senadas.
Remember, he's footing the bill for everybody now.
Srinandana Das.
Hello.
Umesh Papadkar. What?
His wife?
Yes. She's the wife. His better half. Receive.
Thank you so much.
Upendra Achyuta Das.
Haribol! It's also always hard to get the brahmacharis on the course.
Valipriya Mayapan. Venkata Rajesh Sharanan. Brajlila Brinda Devi Dasi, she's not here, but
Oh,
that's it.
Shama Mohini Devi. She tried to hide that. Shambhavini Devi ki jai.
Best part.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Nitai Prabhu and Bhava Bhakti Mataji, for kindly coming here and spending time with us. We are very grateful to you, and hopefully we can remember and follow your teachings. Thank you so much again. Please give a big round of applause. Before I go to the announcements, I want to read a message from ISKCON. It's regarding the same question that I asked, and there is a letter here where ISKCON is telling us how to deal with it. So I'll just read it. It is with deep sorrow and heartfelt compassion that members of ISKCON extend our sincerest condolences to the victims and families affected by the recent terrorist attack in India. Our thoughts and prayers are with all those who have suffered due to this senseless act of violence. As followers of the teachings of Lord Krishna, we believe in the sanctity of all life and the power of prayer, unity, and compassion to heal even the deepest wounds. In moments like these, we are reminded of our shared humanity and the urgent need to stand together against hatred and violence in all its forms. We join you in mourning the loss of innocent lives, and we pray for peace and strength for the survivors and the grieving families. May the Supreme Lord grant eternal peace to the departed souls, and may those who left behind find solace and courage in these difficult times. So this is the message from ISKCON. Now we'll move on to the sponsor for today's Sunday feast. So some of you may know our very own Trivikram Prabhu. His mother has passed away. So I think only should we call Dhanush forward, because he is only one. Yeah, Dhanush is here. Yeah, Dhanush, come forward, please. So let's chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. His Mataji Prabhu had taught her to chant after he took initiation, and she was such an humble and pious lady that she immediately took up the chanting, and she was chanting for past 2 years. So that is so wonderful, even though this is very sad news, but we find solace in the fact that she was able to chant, and she went very peacefully. Let's chant together 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone. Now, moving on to upcoming events. So, we have the Vaishnava Sadachar series continuing. The next session is on Friday, May the 2nd, by His Grace Manmohan Shri Jagannath Prabhu. So, please join it. I know the last 4 sessions have been really engaging, and everybody has enjoyed attending those. So, let's continue that. Next one is Women in Krishna Consciousness. They are going to meet on May 3rd from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. So please, those of you who are planning to join, RSVP for the event for Prasadam. Third announcement is His Holiness Romapad Swami Maharaj is visiting us again, which is fantastic news. Maharaj is going to be here from May 6th to 12th, and there will be home programs, Sunday feast program, and Narsimha Dev's appearance day. So that, which is on Saturday, May 10th, we are going to celebrate Lord Narsimha Dev's appearance day. So we will have Narsimha Yagya first from 5 to 6:30 p.m. At 6:30 p.m. we'll have Aarti and 7 p.m. class by His Holiness Ramapath Swami Maharaj. So please mark your calendars. Very important day is coming, May 10th, Saturday, Narsimha Dev appearance day. And of course you will get flyer for all the Maharaj's programs. So keep an eye for that. Then we have summer camp coming up for kids from June 2nd to 6th. It will be done from morning 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So it's a very good opportunity for the children who are here in different classes, or the children who want to attend those classes and want to get a preview of how it is like to be. So there will be devotional songs, there will be prayers, there will be fun games, there will be art and craft, several activities, and last but not least, very delicious prasadam cooked specifically for kids. So please parents, mark your calendars, June 2nd to 6th. There is summer camp right here in the temple. Then regular announcements, we have morning sadhana program going on, group chanting, Srimad Bhagavatam verse reading from 5 to 6 a.m. every morning, live on Zoom and YouTube. Then we also have Srimad Bhagavatam reading at temple from 7:35 a.m. in the morning. Vaishnavis are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita from 4:30 to 5:15 p.m. Monday to Friday, and then youth group meeting every Sunday 2 to 3 p.m. On Zoom. Then we have Monday to Thursday Srila Prabhupada book reading, currently reading Nectar of Devotion. It's live on Facebook from 7:05 to 7:35 p.m. Then we have Monday to Thursday Chaitanya Charitamrita reading going on Zoom from 8:30 to 8:50 p.m. We have yoga classes every Saturday from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. in the morning. And lastly, we have pujas and catering service, as you all know, available here. So please see temple devotees if you have any needs for any puja service or catering service. So we'll do the
Before we recite the prasadam prayers, we'd like to thank Krishna Dinesh Patel. She's been writing all those quotations on those boards every week. So Krishna, please come and receive Mahaprasad. She's been doing this diligently for a couple of years, maybe longer. Here, come Krishna. We've seen her grow here at the temple. She's a very shy person, and we've seen her grow here. You know, I remember her from baby, and look at her now. She's been writing all those quotations by Srila Prabhupada and from Bhagavad Gita and so forth. We are very proud of her. Thank you so much. The family is always here doing some kind of seva in the background, so I really appreciate Nimesh Bhai and his family. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Then we just finished ASU semester, and we'd like to thank Nikit, and if you'd like to come and receive a Maha Garland, and Pranapati Prabhu, and Rajesh Prabhu, and Sita Kumari. Give them a big round of applause. I'm really proud of the team. They've taken our ASU program to the next level this year, and I pray to their lordships that we'll keep getting better and improve on this as well. So thank you, Nikit and team. Hare Krishna. So we'll recite the prasadam prayer.
We'll recite prasadam prayers, then make one line for darshan, seniors and children and volunteer first, and then we'll form another one line for prasadam. Same thing, seniors and children first in the prasadam line. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Oh, if somebody is missing this cell phone, please come see us. Oh, it's प्रसादे गोविंदे नमो ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे स्वल्पतुल्यवतं राजन् विश्वासो नैव जायते शरीरा विद्याजा चोदेन्द्रियता है का जीवे फैले विशेषाग्रे तारमध्या जीवाहति लोभ माया सुधर्मति ताकि जिता कठिन संसारे कृष्णा बड़ा दयामय तारी बारे जीवा जाए स्वप्रसाद न दिलो भाई से अनामृता पाओ श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमिला की चैतन्य निताई जय निमाई जय निताई जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे भगवत महाप्रसादम की शीला प्रभुपाद की
Hello? Oh, did it not unlock it? Okay, it'll open. Yeah. I was just sure once it unlocked this dumb car, bro. Huh?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Can you ask him to decrease the volume on this? Ask him to decrease the volume on this.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama
Can you even hear this? Can you even hear this? Can you even hear this?
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaura Premanande. Thank you for playing. No, they make us stop when they start first. Yeah. So, thank you. Oh, good job, bro. I'm proud of you. I give you a double. Hey, sorry, I got this guy. I don't know you. I'm new to this. Somebody wasn't saying that I don't know. I suck at communicate. That's what it is. If you notice, I was messing up the keys. No, you just did